All right, so I'm here with Farris. Farris, thanks for coming on with me and talking.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Mike.
No problem, man. All right, so first of all, wanted to introduce yourself for those that might not know you, just your year, where you're from, major, all that stuff.
I'm Farris Kabalaoui. I'm a sophomore on the team. I redshirted last year, and I'm from Oviedo, Florida, and my major is computer science.
Awesome. All right, so we'll get to the red shirt in a second, but I want to start off, obviously, where we finished last year. You mentioned that you were a red shirt, but you were 29-2 conference champs, back to back for the program. And then we got that unfortunate news in coach's office that everything was over because of the pandemic. So talk to me about
Uh,
as much as you can about the emotions you had that day, what was going through your mind and all that stuff.
I'd say like the whole like week leading up to that announcement was kind of like weird. We just didn't know what was gonna happen, and we were just like working out and stuff, but like we didn't know if we were gonna play or whatnot, and like we were hearing rumors and stuff, but like it was just really hard because we were riding such a high win streak. Like we were playing really well. The guys were clicking like really well. Um, we had great chemistry. We were having so much fun playing. And honestly, like we were just getting to start playing our best basketball, I think, as a team. And our camaraderie was like really, really good. The coaches were doing really good. I mean, it just kind of sucked, like hearing the news, hearing it be official and whatnot. But it was kind of just the unknown. Like nobody really expected that,
Yeah.
and it was just kind of surprising, I'd say.
Yeah, rough day. I remember a lot from that day. Like I was just getting ready to set up practice and stuff and then get the news that everything was canceled and it doesn't really hit you in that moment, right? It kind of just takes a second just to like realize that it's over, everything you work towards just
Yeah, especially for like the seniors,
oh yeah.
because I mean, yeah, because they had awesome careers, and like for that to just end that way, like when they're
Yeah.
playing so well,
Uh,
I'm sure it was terrible for them because it didn't really hit me in the moment. Like it was just all kind of weird, but I know that like people just kind of like went their own ways and stuff, and were kind of just reflecting on everything. And like I went up to the gym, and X was in there and coach was in there, and like we just saw all the banners and stuff that were up. The gym looked so nice because we were gonna host and whatnot. But it was more of just like a thing where we were there, it happened, and then we just had to like shift our minds to this season automatically. As soon as we heard the announcement, I mean, we were up there working out. Like I saw Xavier putting up shots. I was putting up shots with Everett, and coach came by and talked to each of us, and he's just like, yeah, just use this as more hunger. Like be hungry for next season. We'll come back and pick up right where we left off, and hopefully we'll get the chance to do that this year.
Yeah, I'll get to that hunger in a second, but I want to kind of backtrack to your red shirt. So you were a freshman last year. You came in and you kind of had the unfortunate luck, right? Because I think from what I saw from you, Ferris, last year is like I think your confidence wasn't where it should have been, or like or like where it needed to be for you to like make meaningful minutes and stuff like that. And then obviously like
Mm-hmm.
the injury kind of hit you. That was kind of lagging from pretty much the start of the preseason. So talk to me about
Yeah.
overall that frustration you felt having to like miss out on a year in a way, but not be a part of that team success on the court. But just talking about that retro in general, like what was that experience like for you? How
Yeah.
set out the year?
Um, it was really tough on me, to be honest with you. At first, like I mean, the season, the preseason, and whatnot, like I was feel like I was starting to catch my groove and starting to get used to playing with the older guys, the stronger, the bigger guys. I
Mhm.
was starting to find my way into that, and then I got hurt, which was very unfortunate. It happened in the preseason, and then I tried my best to keep playing through it, and that kind of like took my confidence away and stuff because I wasn't able to do certain things. Um, so I tried to play for a few games. I mean, I sat out for like a week or so, and I came back, tried to play through it, and it was kind of just a thing where every time I'd come back, like it would get worse, and it got to the point where it was like so bad that I couldn't even walk to class and stuff. So that's when I kind of just talked to Cheryl, and like we decided to shut it down. and it took a long time to heal because I had done so much damage to it by trying to play on it.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, I know how badly you want to be out there, but just no luck with that. So let's talk about the confidence for a second. I mean, like, I don't think it was any fault of your own in terms of like what I saw like in the pickup games beforehand. Like, you weren't like on the same wavelength there with all the guys, and then that's to be expected because you were a freshman and everything. But can you tell me, like, so I hear from you, like, did you feel like a confidence issue was there, like, in preseason initially, or like after the injury, and like that kind of like didn't let you be the best version of yourself? That because I know you were way
Yeah.
better than what you showed and pick up and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd say that like it was sort of like after my injury because it happened like early on in the preseason, but I kind of just like tried to play through it. I never said anything, but it was kind of a thing where I just like didn't feel as though I could do the things I was capable of doing, and like I always had a mental block because I was thinking about it, and then it just caused me to overthink everything, and it kind of just took away from like what I was able to accomplish on the court.
Do you think that redshirt year will be any help to you going into this year? So like, you're a redshirt freshman technically, athletically. So do you think that you learned anything valuable from just sitting back and watch last year? Like, do you think that will help you in any way?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like as soon as I sat out, and I mean it sucked initially, but I kind of like found my groove per se in terms of like doing my best to be a part of the team, like being the cheerleader. I mean, as well as Kai, like we
Mhm.
both kind of had that same role where we wanted to have an impact on the team, even though we were on the sidelines. And I think we both did a good job of that. I just tried my best to stay engaged in practice, like learn as much as I can, watch other guys, see how they take the floor, how their attitudes are,
Mhm.
So I think I learned a lot of things, like a lot of stuff about like being positive no matter what, and then just learning as much as I can. I definitely think that redshirting 100% is going to help me going into this season because I was able to pick up so much from the sidelines, and I'd say that I was able to kind of like sit back and then evaluate myself and like my game, and it kind of like helped me realize what I needed to work on, and that's
Mhm.
what I did over the summer. So I feel really confident in the work that I put in. I'm much more confident and ready for this season, I'd say.
All right. Let me touch on COVID for a second. We're in October now, almost 7 months to the day. We got sent home. Talk to me about life for you in particular, like you personally. What's been, obviously we have to wear masks and we have to do socially distant stuff now, but talk to me about life in general, like what's been different for you during the pandemic compared to when before it hit in March.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a tough question now because we've been like in this thing for so long. So I feel like we're just kind of used to like all the customs and stuff that we've been doing. So like it's kind of hard to like remember what life was like before then.
Mhm.
But it was definitely different, I'd say. Well, initially in quarantine and stuff, like everyone was kind of like afraid and stuff. No one really knew what was going on, so we kind of just stayed at home and like did our online classes and stuff and tried to make the best of it. All the gyms were closed and stuff, so it's kind of hard like figuring out what to do in that free time. But I sort of just like found my way with my schoolwork. I kind of try to do my best with that, got good grades, and then try to work on like my rehab for my ankle. So I kind of use that time to my advantage, and really put like a strict plan as to like what I needed to do to get stronger and how to like heal my injury faster. So that's kind of what I worked on during quarantine. And then as time went on, like things started to open up and stuff, and you just learn how to live with your surroundings and stuff, trying to stay safe and healthy.
Yeah, I hear you, man. All right, so let me ask you about the group of guys we have coming in this year. We obviously lost National Player of the Year in Brett, a great leader in Jack, but we have this infusion of talent coming in. We got some like huge athletic guys coming in. We got a Baba coming in. We got Trey, who's 6'10", Max 6'9". So we got some huge size coming in. So talk to me about your first impressions of those guys. I mean, you obviously haven't been able to do like pickup and stuff like that, but talk to me about like from what your interactions have been like off the court, like what your first impressions are of those guys coming in.
I mean, my first impressions were that, I mean, all of these guys were really good guys. Um, I mean, I texted coach probably in the first week, and I was like, the guys are awesome. Like, good job. And they truly are. They all have different personalities. They're very open to talking and stuff. Everyone has their own like ways of going about stuff, but they're very positive, and I think that they click well with us. And it's just a good family atmosphere already, and it's only been a few months. So I think they're all extremely talented from what I've seen in the workouts and stuff. It's going to be really interesting and fun to like put that all together once you start playing pickup and stuff.
Right. Do you think, I mean, I think it goes without saying, but like for you personally, knowing that you didn't get to play last year and be a part of a 29-win team, do you think there's a hunger level among the guys of like wanting to go out and like defend our back-to-back titles in the conference and like make it 3 in a row and then obviously have a chance to actually host the region? Like, do you think there's like a hunger level among the guys?
Yeah, there's definitely, without too much to be said, there's a lot of hunger and a readiness for us to go out and accomplish a lot of things. We have a lot of goals. Our main goal is to be the national champions. I mean, obviously we got to take it day by day and get better, and it's been hard with like missing practice and stuff, not being able to play pickup and stuff. So we don't really know how it's all going to go, but we're all very hungry. Everyone's doing the best they can with what we're allowed to do right now. So I know the guys are working hard, and we're ready to go for sure.
Talk to me about, in terms of last year, just like the vibe around the team. I asked BC this, and he said that just like everyone would just enjoyed being around each other. Everyone had fun playing. Do you think that's the same case? Like, talk to me about your point of view on the vibe of last year, like with the group of guys we had.
I'm trying to think. I mean, the vibe is really good, I'd say. With all the interactions that we've had at Lift and like being in the workouts and stuff, like even though we have like smaller groups of workouts, everyone would be there, watching the guys, like cheering us on, no matter who it is working out, like the guys are there supporting. So I think the vibe is definitely there. It's probably a little different than last year, because last year we were able to hang out almost every weekend and like go out and have fun together and stuff, which we haven't been able to do this year because we're all very serious about trying to stay healthy and trying to reach our goals. But I think we blend really well, and it is there. The vibe is definitely there for sure.
Tell me about the chemistry in terms of like why, like from your perspective, like why you think last year was so like the team was so good, right? Because I don't like, I mean, outside, like people didn't really have us as a top 5 team. That's what we ended up being, right? So talk to me about like from your point of view, like why you think chemistry wise, like it was just so good. Like BC told me that it was no jealousy. Do you think that's a similar point of view? That's a fair assessment.
I'd say that everyone had individual goals, but the main goal was always for the team to be successful. And on certain given nights, no matter who it was, the person that would have to sacrifice for the other person would more than likely do that willingly for their teammate to win. Because I mean, we just had so many different guys, and like on any night, someone could step up and have a big game. And I think everyone understood that, and they realized that like pretty early on that if you just have that mentality, then everyone's going to have a big game and everyone's going to have big nights and stuff eventually. So especially the newer guys, they kind of like initially they didn't really have that mentality, but I think as time went on and they saw like how it was and how that is just so successful, they kind of decided to like have that mentality, and they learned it. I think it was definitely the leadership from the seniors and the other guys that have been here in the program for the years before that. I think that helped all the new guys kind of adjust to that, and it was something special, I'd say.
So talk to me about your mindset in particular, like for you personally, in terms of compared to last year, right? Like you don't know what to expect going from high school to college now. Now that you had the redshirt year, now that you've had like a full year in the program, like talk to me about the difference in your mindset from last year to this year. Like what's the mindset for you going into this year?
Well, I'd say my mindset going into this year is for me to just be more consistent and just be there every day mentally. I just need to be engaged, locked in every single second of every practice. I can't really, there's too many times where I'd have a lot of highs and lows. And this year I kind of just want to have that be balanced out and just have, be consistent pretty much. And I mean, I worked really hard this summer and I want that. I know that's going to pay off and show. So I'm going to let my work talk.
So can you kind of tell me about the work you put in the summer? So like what did you do? Because obviously like you didn't get the chance to play and stuff. So what did you do over the summer to really like put in that work to make sure you're ready for this year?
So I'd say that initially I was doing my rehab and stuff, and it was probably I can't really probably like 2 or 3 weeks after quarantine. That's when I started feeling a little better with my ankle, and that's when I started doing some running and stuff, some light running, kind of easing myself back into it. And then once I felt like I was ready to go and I was cleared, that's when I started working out twice a day. I'd have some workouts with, I don't know if you know Jacoby Bonner
Mhm.
from Rollins, but yeah, we'd wake up like almost every day at 8 a.m., go to the local park and work out together, put up shots and play one-on-one for a few hours. And then during the day, later on in the day, I'd have like a lift or something, go to
Right.
the gym or just do like some leg work.
So tell me about if you had to take away one thing, right? Because obviously nothing's taken for granted. We can't ever do that in life in general. So what was your big takeaway, or what was something that you learned from sitting out last year in terms of like that you can use to apply to this year? Like what would be like, was there anything in particular that you took away?
Um, I'd say it that the main thing that I personally took away. Are you asking like in terms of
Yeah.
like my game and
No, just anything in general, like like whatever like whatever you learned that you can use to apply this year. Like what was that thing you took away?
oh, for sure, just to be positive in bad situations. Like you just got to make the best of like what you're given, the opportunities you're given. So for me, it could have been so easy for me to just pout and just be that negative kid because I'm just not able to practice or not able to do what I want to do. Obviously, I'd have those thoughts and stuff, and it was kind of hard dealing with it on my own. But that's why you have teammates and stuff. So I think just being positive and doing that, like by doing that, you attract the same energy. So I feel like you just got to make the best of the situations you're given. And I think a prime example of that is seeing the guys work as hard as they're working right now, um, knowing the circumstances and what they're not able to do.
Right.
So
So I think overall last year we were pretty fortunate for the most part, like injury wise. Like we didn't have like this complete decimation of guys that were out, right? Knock on wood, we're good this year too. But since you went through that experience last year, in the event that we do have a guy that has to redshirt, like a freshman or someone else, right, on the team, in the event that that does happen, what would be your piece of advice to that person if they like if they say they were to ask you like Farris, how did you get through this retro year and stuff like that? Like, what would be a piece of advice you have to them to help them like making the most of their chance to redshirt and stuff like that?
well, first I'd say to stay engaged, because you can learn a lot from just sitting there and watching practice. Like I think it's very underrated. Probably just staying engaged, and then maybe looking at it as sort of a positive other than a negative. Like it might be a good thing for someone to sit out. They're not ready yet. I think a redshirt year can help a lot of guys, especially like acclimate to the surroundings. With schoolwork. It's a big step academically from high school to college, and then so is it on the court, like it's a huge difference from high school to college. I mean, in terms of athleticism, speed, size, like it's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And redshirting gives you the opportunity to, I mean, I was injured, so it's a little different, but if someone just redshirts, then they'd be able to work out, lift with the team, be around the team, still be a part of the team. And then, just get an extra year to develop. So I think it's a really underrated thing that someone could use if they wanted to.
So I don't know if you heard the conference announced like last month that they were going to postpone all athletic events through the end of the year. Did you hear about that announcement?
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of thought that going in that January at the earliest would be like when we would have a season. So talk to me about once you guys are going to be able to go back next week, what you're going to be doing preparation wise to make sure that you're in the best shape possible, like mentally, physically, to make sure that you're able to go live and like be the best version of yourself you can be. Like, what are you gonna do preparation wise when you guys go back next week?
I think it's more of like what have we been doing. So we were off for 2 weeks, and I'd say that all the guys have been doing whatever they do to stay in shape, doing what their body needs. So I know some guys are doing sprints. Some people would run the lake, go to the wellness center, put shots up, lift, do as much as they can. For me personally, I'd run the lake and stuff, and then go to the wellness center and work out. But since I live in Orlando, I was able to go back home and work out with my trainer and stuff. So that's kind of what I've been doing on the weekends and stuff.
Hey, I like it. So what I want to know, Farris, for you, I think the potential for you is there to like be a key contributor, but obviously like playing time is never guaranteed. Coach D, right? He always says you have to like earn your opportunities. So
yeah.
Tell me about if you are able to like get minutes consistently and like make a solid contribution, how it's like knowing like everything you went through last year, like what's your level of confidence that you're going to be able to like be a difference maker, like just like do what you have to do to help impact winning? Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I'd say that, Coach Donnelly talks about how it's easy to play for him, but it's hard to get minutes for him. And I saw that firsthand last year, like a lot of talented guys that were just as good as the players that were playing weren't getting any minutes for certain reasons, because it's that much, like it's kind of inches with Coach. Like it's his job, he takes it extremely seriously, and he wants the best on the court to win. And 1 through 15, the team is pretty loaded, so it's kind of hard, to say what's going to happen. Who knows? But personally, I've had a lot of goals, and I'd say that for me, my main goal is to be the hardest worker that I can be, and try to show that, and try to like have that be noticed. Mm-hmm. And I think early on in the preseason, I was able to kind of show that, but then it sort of stopped. So,
right.
I think that if I was able to get some minutes and be a contributor to the team, I would do the little things. So obviously, everyone can score on the team, including myself. I think it would just be more of like a thing on defense for me. Mm-hmm. I'm able to, play good defense, play good team defense, rebound really hard, rebound well, and be a talker. I think I have a chance to have some productive minutes for the team. Especially if any bigs get tired. Like they need some energy off the bench. I think I do a great job of being energetic and putting a few points up and sparking the team. I think I hold that trait, and I did that a lot in high school.
So you kind of touched on that just now, but like if there was a goal you had for the season, like whether it be like individually or for the team, like do you think just you being able to impact winning in some fashion, would that be considered the goal for the season for you, or would it be something else? Like what do you think would be like the main goal for the season? What would be considered a successful year?
Well, a successful year would be to make a deep run in the tournament as a team, because I think that even you know that just being a part of the team is a special thing, and like we're all a family, and like we all contribute in some kind of way, and Coach always says that, and he acknowledges that. So I'd say that would be a successful year, just coming together in this hard time and like having a good season, and trying to win something, fighting for something that will we'll always have for the rest of our lives. And personally, for me, I really want to prove to myself that I can play at this level, and I want to prove to myself that I can be consistent
Mm-hmm.
and be trusted by the coaching staff. So whether that's getting a few minutes a game or maybe breaking into a role, like that's kind of like where my mentality is at. But I just want to stay healthy and be consistent for the whole year and kind of be a piece that the coaching staff can rely on. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I just want to do better than I did last year.